All right, sisters and brothers of Finance 300. This is week 6 case study review. Won't do much here because week 6 assessments should get you what you need for this. You've already got the data in here, right? Current monthly data already tells you what the percent of sales is. Then it's going to go through 3 different scenarios, right? And these scenarios are going to give you different pieces of information on assumptions, right? So in this case, expected growth in sales from population growth, this is 1%. So in each of these, right, your new monthly value is going to take the shape of taking the current and changing it by percentage is down here. And the nice thing about this, believe it or not, even though they don't have it exactly in the right order as your revenue, food, labor, fixed cost, then you could change that, but you don't necessarily need to. Well, actually, yeah, I probably would. No, not necessarily. Try to think about this a little bit. Arguably, for let's say food costs, because once again, this one down here, this one's fixed cost, which is that food. These two are going to be revenue generated runs, right? Revenue, and this is a revenue associated one. These two are you're gonna want to add to the same change or the formula that you got going on here. But your food cost is going to be pretty simple. It's going to be very much like the one before, where you're going to take the food cost, times it by 1 plus. I always do plus because if it's a negative in your change, then it's automatically going to be a negative, right? So that's why I don't like hard coding these things in this stuff. But your food cost is right here. That's going to be your change, okay? So that's your new number, and then if you do what I've done, I've done this again. If you do what I've done before, which is take your current number as your denominator, and then your numerator is going to be your forecast minus your current, then you're okay with that. But one little hint on this, right? One little hint on this, on both of them actually, and I'll go back and fix them a little bit. If you copy and paste this over or down or anything like that, you're going to get this cattywampus number that's not going to work because it's all referencing different cells. For example, if I keep it like this, and let's say I just copy this down, okay? I just copy it down. Now, what you're going to see is that this one originally referenced the current, the forecast, and it worked just fine. Actually, I think this is an example of where this one works just fine. You copy and paste down the percent sales, right? Even if you go up, no, Control Z, it doesn't. There's something wrong here. Revenue, variable food costs, variable labor, fixed cost. Yeah, because it's asking you to calculate something different. So you can't just copy and paste it down. You have to adjust yourself a little bit. Okay, so you might be able to copy it down to maybe here, right? But you can't continue because then they've introduced a new variable in there or a new calculation that you don't have. Now, if you move this down, you could do that because you could do your own contribution margin, right? Actually, just come over here, copy and paste, and calculate it. Equals, right? Revenue minus food cost minus, oops, I did that again. I always do that. I don't know why I do that. I accidentally hit my lock key. Minus that gives you your contribution margin, okay? Which makes sense because now, if you do this whole thing, skipped over that, that's fine. Now, you could do it that way, right? Introduce a line here so that when you copy and paste, it all works for you. So like when I come over here again, I do a copy and I paste down here, then it's going to give me numbers that aren't correct yet. And let's maybe go to fixed costs. We know fixed costs, where's fixed costs right here? No change. Well, if it's no change, let's put a 0 in there. All right. So if I take the same food cost formula, which this is where I wanted to bring this back in, my food cost formula, it's shifting around on me a little bit as I go up and down. So if I should be able to copy that down. So let's say I copy it down to fixed cost, right? It's not going to be quite right because it's referencing a cell that doesn't exist or doesn't exist with information. So I'd have to bring it up and that would work just fine. Now, in this 1-year forecast, that works okay. But what doesn't work is if I copy it to the right. So really what you want to do on these ones is you want to keep these ones flexible, variable. So as you copy your formulas to the right, it'll shift to the right. But you want your current data to be fixed. Okay. Now this is a little where before I just did F4 once and I got the right number. Because see if I hit F4 on my fixed cost, F4, it does a B6, right? But I want to be able to copy this up and down and all around, but keep it in keep it in column B. You can go up and down on the rows, but I want to keep it in B. So if I hit F4 again, it'll take off the $sign in front of the B, but give you a $sign in front of the 6. If I hit F4 again, it'll put the $sign in front of the B, which means that column B is fixed. But depending on where I copy things, the rows will go up and down. Okay. So I can do that. And then I also want to do the same or a similar thing, but not exactly the same for the assumptions. I want it to be able to copy right and be variable, but stay fixed on the row, right? So it stays in that same area. So no matter what I do, as long as there's no changes over there, maybe there will be, who knows? Let's do this for now, and then I'll go check. But if I take my little cursor, put it inside of that, and I hit F4, okay, that's a hard fix on column and row. That's a fix on row, but not column, which is what I want. So now I can hit enter, right? And if I copy this formula over to this one, assuming that the food did not shift, it did. Of course, they monkeyed with it. So it didn't matter. If I hit this now, oops, Control Z. If I paste a formula in here, now theoretically, okay, it stayed in that same row, right? 15, but it's not labor cost. It's not food cost anymore. It's labor cost, so it doesn't help me. But it did stay fixed on the food. But what's the nice thing about this is the way Excel works these days. Okay, well, it wasn't food, so food cost here. Increased menu prices, that's revenue. That's revenue. Okay, so what I can do is just move this row right here up, and voila, I've got my increased food cost by 12%. Okay, and if I took this formula, which should now copy over just fine. Oops, it doesn't. Because guess what? I forgot to fix it too. So I have to fix B6. I don't want to move it. B6, oh, dang it. Go back in here. B6, I want to fix that, F4. And I want to fix that one, F4. So now that I've done that, when I copy this over, and let's just paste formulas, you'll see that now it references H6, just like it should, but it also now references B6, right? So you've got a pretty solid formula now. Now this formula will copy up and down, left and right. Let's try this one again, right? So if I do the fixed cost on just fixed cost, right? So what did I do here? We'll just go ahead and, well, we want to fix B9. F4. And we want to keep E13 flexible. So I copy it over here. Let's do a formula. Okay, it says, oops, doesn't work. Oh, wow, because there's a text in there. That's why I just put 0 in there. That way I don't have to worry about anything now. All I had to do is double check that the formula was still referencing the right cells. Okay. So now that's good. So theoretically, if I carry this all the way over now, including these ones, okay, if I copy these and I paste special just formulas, I can drop them in there. Now I can double check, okay, food costs, good. Are there any other food cost changes? Nope. Okay, and I've got the food cost of the current still there. So you can see how it's replicated all the way across with that one simple formula that I originally started off with here. Now, obviously, the only changes here, you could adjust how they put the assumptions in here so that it is consistent. You know, so instead of food, see this one's revenue, right? These two are revenue. And these are food, that's a labor, this is revenue, right? So this is inconsistent. This is consistent. So arguably, all you got to do is make this consistent. So what I would do is I would just take this, I would move it, oops, well, I would move it, I would move it where I want it, and I'd move all these back up. And I would just double check menu prices. Yeah, that's all the same. Menu prices down here is different. It's different location, but the reality is you don't have to have it in the same location because they're all revenue driven. And they're very similar to the other one where you're going to take current times 1 plus times 1 plus, and that's going to give you the number no matter how you do it, because times is always a times, and doesn't matter the order that it goes in. So that might be how you set it up so that you can create one formula here and then just copy it across. Now, the nice thing is once you've figured out, you know, your formula here, then all you gotta do is just paste it in there and you can just copy this whole thing over, paste formulas, right? So once you get this set fixed and you got all your referencing correct, then you should be able to just copy that over and double check the formulas and you'll be done. So that's how I might set this up. Now looking at it, how they've structured this case study, that should hopefully give you a little insight into how you might be successful at this. So give me a holler if you have a chance, or if you need any help. Take care. Bye.